So we're going to be working with the gel in the GO24 grooming line, and I like to work with gel in wet hair. It's much easier to manipulate into the hair. Could be a little bit too stiff to work into dry hair, and really you're looking to get more control with gel anyway. The gel has the strongest hold of any of the styling products in the GO24 range. So let me show you how I'm going to work it through the hair, comb it through to get the shape into it, and then we're pretty much going to leave it. Obviously, if the gel dries off in the hair, if Austin wanted to brush the hair through afterwards, there wouldn't be any challenge with that at all, because the GO24 gel doesn't flake. But let's show you how we apply it to the hair and just put a little bit of a shape into it as well. So I'm going to be quite generous with the amount that I use. Once again, because Austin's got quite a lot of hair and it's fairly thick, so being able to use a product that has a little bit more control is much better in this case. So starting at the front and working it back into the longer lengths, really starting to work the product all the way through, getting it into the back. And again, like all of the other products, even distribution is very important, obviously, when we're putting the product through the hair, because we want to make sure that we've got nice coverage and we don't want any fluffy areas through the hair. So again, when you're working the gel through, once you've put the majority of the gel through the longer lengths or the area on top that might be longer, make sure that you work a small amount through the underneath if the underneath is shorter. Now I'm just going to take a comb and work the gel through Austin's hair. Just combing it straight back. So, two things that Austin can do right now. He can leave his hair worked into this combed back gelled look that we've put in here and keep it like that for the rest of the day. Or, once this dries through, Austin can brush through it. The hair will be obviously straighter, working back, and will have obviously more of a natural look to it than a look that's been gelled like this. Here we have GO24 gel worked through wet hair. Very, very simple, easy to work with, and again, would be more of an evening look, or maybe a look that you want a little bit more tapered and finished. So another great product in the GO24 grooming line is a finishing spray. We actually call it control spray. Men with slightly finer hair, that their hair might be flyaway, it's quite a nice product to finish with that. Or say Andrew has been working all day long and he was going out in the evening, didn't want to apply more wax to his hair, just wanted to get it a little bit more finished. He would use the GO24 control spray. And I'll show you how to work with control spray just to get the right amount of it in the hair so it doesn't look too stiff. So holding it about 7 or 8 inches away, just spraying it through the top. You can manipulate the hair after you've sprayed through just to get that hair into the right shape. What we'll find now, after using the control spray, is Andrew doesn't have to be worried about his hair for the rest of the evening. That will be put into place nicely. He can still run his hands through it if he wants. It's really not that sticky, that stiff at all, but he's going to have a lot more control now with his hair without adding more wax to it. So, controlled spray on a finished look. So one of the other products in the GO24 grooming line is grooming cream, and grooming cream has the lightest hold of all of the styling products in the GO24 line. The way you'd want to use it is on slightly longer hair, like Christian's got on top here, and you're not really looking to manipulate the hair by pushing it in a certain way, making the hair stand up. It really is to put a nice finish on hair that doesn't need too much manipulating. So if Christian was just going to leave his hair pretty natural, what would happen if we just let this dry on its own? It would become too fluffy. And what we need to do is just get the hair to have a little bit more of a worn feeling to it. So the best way to work with grooming cream is to work it into the hair when the hair's wet, let it dry on its own, or lightly blow dry it. And what I'm going to do today is I'll work the product through Christian's hair while it's wet, and I'll take a blow dryer and just lightly dry it through so you can see how the actual finished look will be with the grooming cream in. You can see it's a much lighter cream. Very different from the cream wax or texture paste. You can start to see how this emulsifies very, very easily. And it is just like a cream. So we're going to start to just dust this lightly throughout those longer lengths. Get more of the product in on those longer lengths there. Then I'm going to start to work the product through the shorter lengths underneath, through the sides, and into the nape area. Again, remembering that it's very important to get even distribution with the product. We don't want to just put product on the top and leave the underneath. You want to be able to blend the product from the underneath all the way through into the length on top. So once you've got that worked all the way through, just put the hair into really natural, very easy sort of a shape there. Now I'm going to just lightly put the blow dryer over the top, just so you can see how the product's going to finish when it's dry. So you can see the finish that we've got on Christian's hair now. Just a little bit of shine to it, not too much, but we've got nice separation, hair's not fluffy at all, and it just looks finished. So even if you aren't going to really do anything with your hair, you're just going to let it sort of just go into its natural fall, the way it's sort of just naturally going to grow. Working a bit of product through there, getting that separation, having the finish on it is very, very important. So even if you're not doing a lot with your hair, small amount of grooming cream is perfect to work with. So grooming cream from wet hair to dry. So styling cream is one of the grooming products in the GO24 line, and styling cream has a medium hold, a shine finish to it, and is easy to manipulate the hair as well. I would tend to use it on slightly longer lengths of hair as opposed to through shorter areas, but you can work it through that. And I'm going to show you how we're going to work with it in wet hair to create a style and then just leave it. You can blow dry it into the hair if you want, but we're just going to comb this in, put the hair into position, and it will dry off really nicely, and the hold will be not too strong, but just perfect for a shape that we're going to show you on Jared's hair right now. So, working with the styling cream, I would say the texture and the consistency is right in between the grooming cream and the texture paste. So you've got like a medium hold, because remember with texture paste we're going for a firmer hold, grooming cream hardly any hold. So this is right in the middle of those. So let me show you how much I'm going to use. Again, working that in the palm of my hand, emulsifying it, and then once again dusting it all the way through the top on those longer lengths to get the majority of the product worked through where most of the hair is. Make sure we get that up all the way in the front, sides, into the back. And then with the remainder of the product in my hands, that's when we start to work through these shorter lengths to make sure that we get some product on there so the underneath cropped area doesn't look too fluffy or fuzzy. So let's just work that in through there. Then using a comb, we're going to comb the shape in. And again, with styling cream, It's not too stiff, so you can work the comb through the hair to put a really nice shape in very easily. And as it starts to dry through a little bit, there's no challenge with really working and manipulating great shape in. So there we have styling cream worked through wet hair, very simply. Again, utilizing the comb to get a nice shape in the hair. Gerard can just leave this now, let it dry off completely naturally without blow drying it. If he wanted to put his hands through it later, it wouldn't be a challenge, it would fall back into this shape. So here we have styling cream in wet hair. So now we can look at styling cream in Gerard's hair dried off. And what we've really got is a very light sort of pomade feeling that you get through there. You've definitely got some control, taking away all of that fluffiness. The hair looks a little bit worn, which is much nicer and much cleaner. Now, if Gerard was maybe working all day, had the styling cream in his hair, going out in the evening, or needed to have a little bit more control with the shape, best product to use would be control spray. Control spray is a light misting that will give you just the right amount of control to keep your hair in place all day long. So let me show you how this works. So we're going to spray a little bit through. Just like so. And again, if we need to go in and just sort of look at certain areas to just put that into shape a little bit. Perfect. Really simple, easy product to work with. Control spray to get that hair in place, staying all day long without any challenge. And the nice thing about control spray is the smell of it as well. It's the same signature scent as all of the other styling products that we have in the line. So it's a nice manly smell with hairspray as opposed to something that's too fruity. Cream wax is actually quite different from obviously the hard or the soft wax. We came up with this product that we feel works really well with guys that tend to have maybe slightly finer hair, that when they put wax in, it tends to drop very, very quickly. With cream wax, what you're going to find with this is it's got a little bit more hold. Goes in the hair like a cream, but then immediately turns into a wax. We're going to actually work this through on Christian's hair with his hair being dry right now. So we're going to want to get nice even distribution before we start working the hair into the shape that we're going for. But again, with the cream wax, it's going to be able to manipulate through the hair very, very easily and again, turn into that wax. So we've got the softness of the cream and then the hardness of the wax as it works through the hair. So let me show you how I'm going to put this in the hair and how we're going to work through the hair with the cream wax. About that much to start with. Emulsify, so you've got that nice cream feeling through there, and then really just start working this into the hair, especially in those longer lengths through the top. I want to get quite a lot of product working into the hair. So once again, with any of the Go products, when you're working with them for styling or finishing, make sure that you get nice even distribution through the hair. Very, very important to get that even distribution. We don't want to end up with a clump in the front or maybe on the crown area. We really want to make sure that all of the product is worked through the hair really nicely. So just starting to have a look to see how the shape is working through here. going to add just a little bit more. Again, not being too frightened to use quite a lot of product. Again, I think sometimes guys tend to put not enough product in their hair to actually get the look that they're going for. So now we can start to put the shape in as we've got that product evenly distributed through the hair. And again, making sure that you get the cream wax working through the shorter hairs in the side and all the way down back into the nape area as well, because you don't want to have product through the top and the underneath looking too fluffy. So just work the cream wax underneath through the sides, get those to sit in nice and tight through there, and then obviously you've got separation and definition through the top. So cream wax through dry hair, making sure that you apply a fair amount, be quite liberal with it, and then just work on the shape to manipulate it into the look that you're going for. So, finishing off with our cream wax. Texture paste is another one of the grooming products in the GO24 line. And texture paste is most probably the strongest hold out of all of the styling agents we have, apart from the gel, obviously, that comes in a jar. So it's a little bit thicker than most of the pastes that you might have used before, but the thickness is what adds hold to the hair. Again, we can manipulate the hair quite well with texture paste, especially when the hair's wet. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to work this through Christian's hair. Using about that much, fair amount of product, I'm going to emulsify that into my hands. And then working from the front all the way to the back, just working the product through the hair. Getting nice, even distribution. Texture paste has more of a matte finish to it, which again, a lot of guys want the matte finish as opposed to shine through the hair. And that's what we're going to get through this. And again, we're going to get a lot more separation. So I'm going to work this through Christian's hair, getting more lift, more texture on top. And again, don't be frightened to use a lot of product when you're working this through the hair as well. So let's get a little bit more just to work through the hair there. And with the GO24 grooming products, they are made to dry naturally in the hair. If you want to use a hairdryer, you can. Most guys tend to just work the product through the hair and then just let it dry off on its own. So again, working the product underneath through the shorter lengths at the side, and then just up into the longer lengths right in the front, pushing that back, getting more texture on top. There we go. As this starts to dry off, there'll be a little bit more hold through the hair, and you can manipulate that and work it through the hair until it's completely dry, and you'll get this just great shape, nice separation through it, but a little bit more hold with texture paste. So texture paste in wet hair. We're going to be working with soft wax on Andrew's hair. Now, Andrew's hair is wet. It's definitely got some thickness to it. And to be able to work with a grooming product in wet hair, you need to have a little bit of hold, be able to manipulate that hair quite a bit. So the soft wax that we're going to be working with today is quite unique. When you actually look at soft wax, it looks a cross between gel and pomade. The nice thing about this is it's water-based and water-soluble, so being able to work it through damp hair or wet hair makes it very easy. I'm using quite a large amount of the product, again because Andrew has a lot of hair to work with. Going to just emulsify this into my hands a little bit and then really start working it through the hair. And you can actually feel the hold that this has. You can actually feel that the texture it is, that it needs to be put in the hair when the hair is wet. Now, the finish on this is going to be a lot of shine, a lot more separation than the hard wax, and a lot more definition as well with the individual hair strands. So let's get this worked through. Make sure that when you do put the product into the hair, get even distribution with the hair. Make sure that you work it through the sides up into those longer lengths. What we've seen a lot of times with guys is they tend to put the product maybe just in the area that they're trying to emphasize, like maybe the longer lengths in the front, or they might just sort of put it on the top and like work it through the top area and leave the sides as they blend into those longer areas. So one thing that I think is very important to put across is to make sure that work the product through the hair, shorter lengths into the longer lengths to get really nice even distribution, and then work the hair into the shape that's desired for the look that you're going for. And as again this dries off, you're going to see a lot more shine coming through it. You can see a lot more separation and definition. And you can see how that works. A little bit of hold, which is going to be perfect for this. Just a really nice finish, easy to work with, straight in the hair. And again, with the texture of the product having that wax gel feeling, much easier to sculpt the hair and get it into the shape that you want. So, soft wax on wet hair.